Now we reach what was, until very recently, the single biggest practical problem with California's forfeiture regime, and the thing SB 443 was most directly built to address. It is called equitable sharing. Imagine you are a California police agency, and you have just seized $58,000 from our driver on Interstate 5. Before SB 443, you faced a choice about how to process that seizure. Your first option was to process it under California law. That meant accepting all the protections we have discussed: the heightened burden of proof, the conviction requirement where it applied, the statutory split of the proceeds, and the reporting obligations, the full California regime. Your second option was very different. You could hand the cash to a federal partner, most often the Drug Enforcement Administration, the FBI, or a joint task force you already belonged to. The federal partner would then process the forfeiture under federal law, which is substantially less protective than California's. And then, through the Federal Equitable Sharing Program, the federal agency would route up to 80% of the proceeds back to your California agency. You can see the move. California agencies were using federal law to defeat the policy choices of the California legislature, and this was not some rare edge case. Studies by the Institute for Justice and academic researchers found that California agencies were among the heaviest users of equitable sharing in the entire country, hundreds of millions of dollars over the program's life. For some agencies, that federal money was a meaningful slice of their operating budget. Pause on the federalism puzzle here, because it is unusual. Seizure by state and local police sits squarely within traditional state authority. The federal government has no general power to dictate what California police may seize. And yet, by offering an alternative processing pathway with attractive financial returns, federal law was effectively pulling California police out of California's own rules. This is not the federal government preempting state law. It is the federal government underbidding it. SB 443 tried to close the gap. It bars California agencies from receiving equitable sharing distributions on most seizures under $40,000 unless a conviction has been obtained. The agency can still hand the money to the federal partner, but in most cases it cannot get the money back without a conviction. That was an elegant fix because it tied the substantive protection to the financial incentive. But it did not close everything. Task force operations in larger seizures remain partially open. Whether that residual gap is wide enough to undermine the reform is still